Group 14 elements, carbon family. Carbon family is under the category of p-block elements, which includes the number of metals such as carbon, silicon, germanium, tin, lead, and fluorine. So, out of the all metals, carbon and silicon is considered as the non-metals. Germanium exists in the form of metalloid, and tin and lead is exist in the form of soft metals. So, out of the all metals, the common electronic configuration exhibited by group 14 elements or carbon family is nothing but ns2 np2 configuration. That means the last electron entering into the p orbital. The covalent radius of carbon family increases when we are moving down to the group. Similarly, when we are observing the trend from carbon to silicon, the covalent radius values are somehow increases, and from silicon to lead the covalent radius values are somehow increases. So this is nothing but there is the completely filled d and f orbitals. Now, when we are moving to the ionization energy values of group 14 elements, the ionization energy values of group 14 elements are completely decreasing from moving to the downwards. This is nothing but poor shielding effect of d and f orbitals. Now, when we observe the electronegativity of group 14 elements, the electronegativity values are almost same. So these are all the same values of electronegativity, but these values are electronegativity are completely higher as compared to group 13 elements or boron family. These are the physical properties of group 14 or the carbon family. Okay, as we discussed previously, carbon and silicon is available in the form of non-metals. Only germanium is exist in the form of metalloid. Tin and lead are act as soft metals. So that means carbon family includes both metals, non-metals as well as metalloids. Now when we observe the carbon family, now these are having the 4 electron in the outermost shell. So that's why all the elements which are able to exhibit to two types of oxidation states, those are nothing but +4 and +2 oxidation states. +2 oxidation states are increases in the sequence of germanium, tin as well as lead due to the inability of ns2 electrons. But carbon and silicon exhibit +4 oxidation state. So these are the different kinds of oxidation states which are exhibited by group 14 elements. So simply group 14 elements are able to exhibit +2 and +4 oxidation states. Carbon family or group 14 elements are highly reactive. So these are the elements which are completely reactive towards oxygen, water as well as halogens. Now when we observe the reactivity towards oxygen, these are the elements which are reactive with oxygen to produce two types of the compounds. Those are nothing but monoxide as well as dioxide. For example, carbon. Carbon react with oxygen to produce carbon monoxide as well as carbon dioxide. So when we are observing the trends, the oxides in higher oxidation state are more acidic as compared to the lower oxidation states. The best example is nothing but carbon dioxide as well as silicon dioxide and germanium dioxide. These are completely acidic nature. But when we observe the SnO2 as well as PbO2, these are the compounds which are completely amphoteric in nature. That means these are act as acidic compounds as well as basic compounds. So that's why these are called as amphoteric in nature. But carbon monoxide is a neutral compound and germanium oxide is a acidic compound. These are few exceptions in the reactivity towards oxygen. Okay, this is the reactivity of carbon family with oxygen. So simply we can say that all the group 14 elements are exhibit to two types of compounds by the reaction with oxygen. One is the carbon monoxide and another one is the carbon dioxide. Now the oxides which in higher oxidation state are more acidic than the lower oxidation state. So we have seen the number of examples also. Now what is the reactivity towards water? So when we observe the trend of group 14 elements, So these are the elements which are not affected by any kind of the water. For example, when we observe the carbon, silicon, germanium, lead, these are not affected by the water. That means these are not reactive with the water molecule. But there is some exception, that is nothing but tin. When tin is reactive with the water molecule, there is the formation of tin oxide along with hydrogen gas, which is completely liberated into the environment. This is only exception. So this is the reactivity towards the water molecule. And the third one is nothing but reactivity towards halogens. Group 17 elements are called as halogens. Group 14 elements are easily reactive with halogens. So when the group 14 elements are reactive with halogens, it can easily produce the metal halides. But there is some exceptions are there. That is nothing but carbon. So in addition to the carbon, all the remaining metals are reactive with halogen. But all the halides are completely covalent compounds which exhibit sp3 hybridization. That is nothing but tetrahedral in shape. Okay, this is the reactivity towards halogen. Next one is the anomalous behavior of carbon. Okay, like boron family, boron exhibit anomalous behavior. So similarly in the carbon family, carbon exhibit anomalous behavior. Okay, that is nothing but carbon is anomalous property due to the presence of the small size as well as the higher electronegativity and high ionization enthalpy values. Okay, this is the reason why the carbon is exhibit anomalous behavior, but there are number of other character also there. Here carbon exhibit valency, that is nothing but 4, because only s and p orbitals are available for the bonding at, and it can be accommodate only 4 pairs of electrons around it. So that's why the carbon exhibit the anomalous trend. But due to when we observe the presence of the bondings, so carbon is able to produce different types of the bondings, that is nothing but carbon double bond carbon, and a carbon triple bond carbon, and a carbon double bond oxygen, carbon double bond sulfur, and a carbon triple bond nitrogen. So number of compounds are produced. So these are the heavier elements which do not form the p pi and p pi bonds due to the atomic orbitals are too large and diffuse to the have the effective overlapping properties. And also carbon exhibit the major property which is called as catenation property. So because of having the catenation property, carbon is having the ability to link with another metals through the covalent bondings. But there is the order of catenation ability, that is nothing but carbon, silicon, germanium, and finally tin. So as compared to all metals, carbon is having the highest catenation ability. Next, allotropes of carbon and allotropes of carbon. Carbon exhibit different kinds of the compounds. So generally when we observe the carbon, carbon is available in the form of amorphous nature and in the form of crystalline nature. So in any way, carbon exhibit mainly three kinds of allotropes. One is the diamond, and the next one is the graphite, and another one is the fullerene. This is also considered as the nanomaterial. When we observe the first variety of allotrope of the carbon, that is nothing but diamond. So when we observe the structure of the diamond is the crystalline and lattice structure, and when we observe the hybridization, each carbon atom is linked to 4 other carbon atoms, so it exhibit sp3 hybridization process. So the diamond exhibit the carbon-carbon bond length is 154 pm. This is very important. Here the directional covalent bonds are present in the diamond. So that's why the diamond is the hardest substance in the earth due to the covalent bond breaking is difficult. So because of having the hard substance, it is very difficult to break the covalent bond. So what kind of the bond is present? That is nothing but directional covalent bond. Okay, this is about the diamond. Now when we are moving to the graphite, so graphite is the second allotropic form of the carbon. So when we observe the structure of graphite, graphite is available in the form of layered structure, but all the layers are completely held together by van der Waals force of the attraction, which exhibit the value that is nothing but 340 pm. Each layer is a planar structure and hexagonal through the presence of the carbon-carbon ring. And each carbon atom is undergo sp2 hybridization, makes the 3 sigma bonds as well as 1 pi bond. So the electrons are completely mobile, so it can easily conduct the electricity. Okay, this is about the graphite. But as compared to the diamond, the graphite is a very soft one. So diamond is the hardest substance, but the graphite is the soft. The third allotropy is called as fullerene. Okay, this is the structure of the fullerene. You are observing here. Okay, this is the beautiful image like football or the volleyball. Okay, so when we observe the fullerene is produced by taking the graphite. When graphite is heated in the presence of high temperature, now there is the formation of the fullerene process. So when we observe the diagram of fullerene, it exhibits 26 rings as well as all carbon atoms are completely undergo sp2 hybridization, which exhibit 3 sigma bonds, and also the size is completely ball shaped size. Fullerenes are having the number of the applications. So for the chemotherapy we are using the fullerenes along with carbon nanotubes for the treatment of the cancer. So sometimes these are also used to drug delivery systems. Okay, these are the allotropes of the carbons. Okay, we have discussed about diamond, graphite and fullerenes, and also we have seen the number of properties also. Now while we are moving towards the compounds of carbon as well as compounds of silicon. Okay, carbon is having the number of the compounds. Those are nothing but carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide. Okay, these are the different types of the carbon compounds. When we observe the carbon monoxide is produced by the reaction of carbon with oxygen in the presence of low temperature. There is the formation of carbon monoxide, but this is the small scale method. But in the commercial process, carbon monoxide is prepared by passing the steam on the red hot coke. Now there is the formation of carbon monoxide. Now carbon monoxide is very poisonous, because when carbon monoxide is mixed with hemoglobin, that leads to the formation of the poison inside the blood. So from the number of the vehicles, so there is the liberation of carbon monoxide also. So when we observe the carbon monoxide which exhibit 1 pi bond and 2 pi bonds and 1 sigma bond due to the presence of lone pair on the carbon atom. The second carbon compound is nothing but carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is prepared by the combustion reaction of carbon containing fuels in the air. For example, the carbon which is present in the air which is able to react with oxygen to produce the carbon dioxide. In this way there is the formation of carbon dioxide. In the laboratory, carbon dioxide is produced by the reaction of calcium carbonate with hydrochloric acid. Both are added to each other. There is the formation of calcium chloride along with the water molecule, and CO2 gas is released. Carbon dioxide is the colorless, odorless as well as low solubility. So when the carbon dioxide is mixed with water, there is the formation of carbonic acid, which is the weak dibasic acid, which is used to maintain the constant pH. Carbon dioxide is obtained in the form of dry ice. It is used in the refrigerant as well as frozen food. So these are the compounds of carbon. One is the carbon monoxide and another one is the carbon dioxide. Next one is nothing but compounds of silicon. So there are number of silicon compounds. One is the silicon dioxide and another one is the silicone, and next one is the silicates, and finally zeolites. When we observe the first one, silicon dioxide, the structure you are observing here is called as silicon dioxide, which is having the formula SiO2. Here the 95% of the earth crust is made up of silica, which is available in the form of quartz, cristobalite as well as tridiamide. Okay, when we observe the structure of silicon dioxide, which is completely non-reactive due to the high silicon and oxygen bond enthalpy. Okay, silicon dioxide is completely unable to the attack of halogens, but it is attacked by hydrofluoric acid as well as sodium hydroxide to produce sodium silicate as well as silicon difluoride. The next one is called as silicones. Silicones are nothing but organosilicon polymers which exhibit R2SiO linkages, which is on the repeating unit. This is the second compound of silica, which is completely produced by the reaction between the silicon along with methyl chloride. Now, when we observe the structure of the silicones, silicones are completely surrounded by non-polar alkyl groups. So these are completely water repelling in nature. So that means water is unable to entering into the molecule. So because of having this kind of the properties, the silicones are generally used in the preparation of silica gel and also waterproofing devices and also waterproofing gaskets, etc. So these are having the high thermal stability because of having the covalent bonding. These are the dielectric strength and also resistance to the oxidation of chemicals. Okay, this is about the silicones. Next one is the silicate. Okay, this is the structure of the silicate. The best example of the silicates are nothing but feldspar, zeolite as well as mica and asbestos. These are the different kinds of the silicates which are completely available. So when we observe the structure of the silicates, in the silicates, each silicon atom is bonded to 4 oxygen atoms in the tetrahedron fashion. Okay, this is the tetrahedron fashion. That means each silicon atom is bonded to 4 carbon atoms, and also we are observing the bond length is nothing but 109.5 degrees, and we can observe the bond length is nothing but 162 pm. The final one is called as zeolite. Okay, the zeolites are completely used for water purification purpose as well as water softening purpose. So chemically, zeolites are called as hydrated sodium aluminosilicates, which are completely prepared by the combination of sodium, aluminium, and also silicon along with water molecule. Okay, this is called as a zeolite. So for the permitted process, for the water purification, always we have to use the zeolites. So zeolites are having the better ability to remove all the calcium and magnesium ions which are present in the water. So now we have discussed 4 compounds which are present in the compounds of silicon. One is the silica, next one is the silicones, and next one is the zeolites and silicates. Okay, students, this is about the carbon family or the group 14 elements. I think this video is more helpful to you for the quick revision. Stay tuned for more updates. Thank you.